Beautiful souls, January is just around the corner, and have you set your New Year resolutions yet? Hopefully you haven't, and maybe you've been stressing about that, and I'm hoping that this energy update for January can provide you some guidance, because we can utilize this energy that we're feeling for January to help navigate us through this healing journey right now in this time. So for January, I have felt two themes of the energy. One is being, and we'll go deep into that. And the second is expansive growth. So if you're interested in learning about the energy behind January and how you can use this to navigate your healing journey, then dive on into the video. Hey beautiful souls, it's always a blessing to connect with you. Thank you for tuning in. And if you're new to this channel, I'm Dani. Hello. It's a blessing to have you here. Heal What Ails You is the channel for healing. The channel for healing yourself and awakening the healer within you, ultimately helping heal the collective. So today we're going to be diving into the energy behind January. Beautiful souls, we have had so much energetically going on recently. We are ending a decade, we're starting a new decade. We've had the last full moon, new moon of decades. We've had a solar eclipse here at the end of the decade. So much energetically is taking place. Have any of you all noticed that like the holidays were just here and gone in a second? Time speeding up, that energy is getting stronger, and we can use, by tapping into this universe and connecting with the universe, we can use these energies to help guide us month by month, moon by moon cycle, solstice to solstice, year to year, decade to decade. So what is January bringing to us? So with the January energy, I have felt a lot of just being. And we can break being down, being, B-E-I-N-G, for those of you all that can't understand my accent. We can break being down into two categories. Being, first off and foremost, is about being in the now. There is no time like the now, like the present. It's easy for us as humans to live in either the past or the future. So when you're sitting and thinking, when those thoughts are running through your head, think about the storylines that you attach to, the rabbit holes that you go down. Do you dwell on the past and what happened to you and what's happened to your family or your friends, or those things that have hurt you, how things have changed, how things aren't the same, yada, yada, yada? Or are you always thinking about the future? Like, if I'd be happier if I just had this. I would be happier if I had more money, which means I need to complete this. I need to further my education to start this career. I want my house renovated. I want to own a condo at the beach, blah, blah, blah. Anything that's in the future. When we think about the present or the past and the future, we are not living within the now. So therefore, we're missing the actual journey. We're literally missing the parts that are the magic behind it. And so this month is about being in that now, and maybe not dwelling on the past or the future. There's times and places for both of that, especially within this healing process, this journey of the soul. But for right now, for January, I think it's really, really prevalent that we just learn to be. So maybe that means for you, you're not really setting intentions. Maybe your intention or your New Year's resolution can be to just enjoy where you're at right now. Maybe it's going to be start meditating, and that's really a way of just being, sitting in the swing and listening to the birds and just being aware of the surroundings around you and being really present with what's going on. The second way that we can define being is enjoying being who you have come to be. So this last decade has been insane. There's been a lot of growth for all of us, and if you don't think that you've been growing because maybe you haven't been like diving into spiritual techniques or spiritual works, or I can assure you that you have been growing. This whole last 10 years has just been like a kick in the butt. Does anybody else feel like that? So I'm sure if you look back on the last 10 years and reflect, then you would see that you've changed relationships. Maybe you've had new relationships. Maybe you've let go of old relationships. Maybe you've welcomed new members into the family or said goodbye to members of the family. Maybe you've completed school and gotten certain degrees, or started a new career or changed multiple careers. Maybe you've done some traveling. Maybe you've moved. Yada, yada, yada. Lots of change and transition has happened. And we've worked towards this. We've really worked towards it emotionally and physically. And at some point, there has to be a time where you sit and you're just like, man, this is what I worked so hard to become. This is why I worked so hard, was to reach this level. Not necessarily being like, okay, I reached this level, on to the next. And I'll give you some examples because I know this is really broad. So a friend of mine, she had been staying for the holidays here with me, and she had mentioned that she had been thinking about diving into her PH, to obtaining her doctorate degree. And she said, but you know what? School is my comfort zone, so she's been feeling a little shaky right now and looking for those ways of comfort. And she's like, I obtained my master's and I've gotten the job that I've wanted. And she's gone through that cycle of, this job doesn't align with me, this job doesn't align with me, this job doesn't align with me, until she searched and she was brave and she made the decisions to leave, until she's finally come into what her goal was for this past 10 years. And she's like, I think I really just need to enjoy being there and not moving on to the next. And I'm like, yes, this is that January energy. I myself, this YouTube video had been a goal of mine for 4 years. I kept feeling like I needed to do deeper healing before I hopped into it. I finally reached it, and somewhere along that way, I was like, well, I want to study herbalism for this reason. I need to look at schools, and I really want to get into shamanic journeying. So let's look at places I can study this, instead of just enjoying the fact that, hey, you're YouTubing right now. So beautiful souls, the whole point of this being is just to let you know that maybe when you start doing New Year's resolutions, it doesn't need to be that far reach goal. To really sit back and just enjoy this time to be like, this is who I've become. Look at who I have became. Because I know it was such an uphill battle to get here. So that leads me to my second theme for January, which is expansive growth. And you're like, don't set intentions, Dani, to start a new path, but we're having expansive growth. When beautiful souls, when you can take the time to be in the now, to enjoy who you are at this moment, to enjoy all that you have worked for, to enjoy who you have become, who you have fought, because I know that you have fought, because I've fought. When you take the time to really just enjoy that fruitfulness, then there is expansive growth behind that. you worked really hard to be this person. And if you just like, that person's not good enough now, I'm not happy with how this person is, I'm not satisfied, there's got to be more, then your growth kind of subsides and it just stalls out. But if you can be really grateful for who you've become, if you can be really joyous about who you've become, and if you can just practice being the person in which you have become through these last 10 years, through this last decade, through these trenches that you've been in, then you will literally see expansive growth, because there is growth in being in just the now. Beautiful souls, I hope that this really helps you all that have been thinking about New Year's resolutions. I've even just noticed on my Facebook feed, people have been kind of like salty about it. Like, oh, I'm gonna lose 20 pounds and I'm going to start, I think, folding the laundry as it comes out of the dryer. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. Don't feel like you have to constantly be working towards achieving things actively. Take some time to just enjoy where you've gotten. It's not about the destination, it's about the journey, and just sitting and being part of where you've gotten is the journey. And you can really move forward with that momentum and getting further ahead passively by just being in the now. So don't let this New Year stress you out. And let this be a pass to take all the time that you need to for yourself, because you deserve it. You've gotten here, and I know it hadn't been easy. I hope this helped, beautiful souls. Let me know what you think about it down here in the comments. Give me some feedback as to what you would like to see in the future. As always, it's a blessing to be with you. We're in this with you. You have this whole collective here, this whole tribe here that is with you. And until next time, nothing but love and light. Nothing but love and light.